Alright, got one more inverter to put in. The last one I have floating around in my junk, collecting dust. The 10,000 watt peak, that I will be using this for anything more than a couple thousand watts. The only thing I want to use this for, really, is to run my air compressor if I need to. That's about 2,000 watts. It also has a built-in charger, which can charge at 5 more amps than this blue Schumacher I have, which has been quite finicky lately. So I'm going to hook this up, probably just use it as a charger, and then if I ever need a lot of power, I have it. Getting out the old selector switch, can handle 350 amps at 32 volts, so that should be plenty for a 12 volt setup. At 500 amps is what I'm going to put a fuse in for, and this will get up to, I believe, 6,000 watts with a 500 amp fuse before it blows. Again, I don't think I'll be using anywhere near that much power, but we got to put a fuse in. So, and 500, I got a bunch of 500 amps, so we're going to use that. Got some lugs, some 1/0, also known as 0 gauge. Got some 1/0 or 0 gauge wire, and then we got some black wire that we've had sitting in our stuff for a while now. So we're going to crimp on a couple lugs, hook up a switch. I want them switched because these draw power even with this switch off. Especially this one. The bigger they get, the more power they have, the more power they draw. It's a standby, but it drains power just being hooked up. So I want to have a way to disconnect it. So let's move some stuff out of the way. We just got some screws up here and a couple down here. One's already half taken out for us for some reason. A little silicone just to add some cushioning in there so the RV doesn't vibrate the screws out of it. It used to have rubber grommets, but those have long been lost, so. Alright, that's pretty good. Sounded pretty good. I'm gonna go down below, make sure we got enough slack. I'll maybe even attach that down there. And then we'll start putting this up on the wall. Looks like we have just enough wire. Okay, I think we'll probably just do it like that. I get these for $1.50, Fred Meyer's. So you get them at any hardware store or Home Depot as well. I just happen to be by a Freddy's. And you're a little snug on these 1/0 wires, but I can still get a screw through them, so I'll make it work. It's really flexible. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to put the switch back in. Take a little duct tape. I think that should be plenty. Okay, that should be enough to reach over there. Alright, so we got the inverter wire and the power wire from the batteries. Need to make one more for the other side of the fuse. Go off to the battery from the other side, so we're going to make one more of these. The electrical tape will help keep the extra copper from being exposed, and we'll also add a little support at the neck right here. Alright, so we just got back from Home Depot. Got a couple pieces of wire, just two 1-foot pieces of some 6-gauge stranded. They're out of black, so I just got a white one. We'll cut these in half so we have 4 wires to jumper between 6 terminals. Got 2 packages of these. These were 67 cents, or no, 76 cents. These were ring terminals, were $3.18 each. Got some wire loom flex tubing, $2.98, and got some plumber's tape or hanger strap for $3.24. I'm going to use that to hang my smaller inverter up on the wall, keep it up and out of the way. So I think I'm just going to try and use the 25 square millimeter die out of my hydraulic crimp tool set and see how well that works. I do have a pair of pliers that would crimp this, but the plastic insulations are just a little too big. It would fit perfectly if it didn't have that insulation on there. But these edges down here are kind of sharp and I don't want to chew up the insulation on these terminals. These edges are a lot softer. I think that might work just a little better. I think that'll work. Crunching the insulation a little bit, but it's not getting split or torn, so yeah, it'll work just fine. positive wire from the smaller inverter out here as well, so we can switch that on and off. I'll be using the output as an input. And then I'll put the big inverter on 2. Alright, so we ran out of cable for the negative, or else I'd run it back to there, since this is the start or the end of the battery bank. And just jumpered from here, from this section to this section. So I would like to pull a negative from here and positive from over here, which I believe helps it draw evenly from all the batteries or something, I'm not too sure. But instead I have it hooked here and over here, and so it'll be drawing from the middle of the battery bank. Hopefully that'll be okay. I'm sure it'll still work. Maybe just not as efficient. I'm gonna spend another $5 on some 1/2-inch wire loom. There we go, all set up. Just gonna give it a quick test. Looks like we're good. And off. And the 10,000 watt inverter's got power, so it looks like we're good. Okay, and it just takes one of these, I forget what they're called, but kind of like a common PC power supply, power cord. Uses a lot of different things. And that just goes in there. Turn that off now. Shut that down. And we'll just plug her in there. And then when we're on running the Jenny or we're on grid power, all we have to do is flip the second switch down here, and then we got our battery charger. And it's a lot beefier than that little car battery charger I had. It just was meant for charging a single battery, and it didn't do too good. It got really hot and had a hard time. I mean, it charged everything okay. It just took a really long time. And like I said, it would get pretty hot and smell kind of funny. So I don't think it was really healthy for it. This is actually meant for it. This is for charging large household battery banks. It's got separate fan. There's a separate system in here that's a charger. There's the inverter and there's a charger. It's got I think the back. This big old fan is for the inverter, and these front little fans are for the battery charger. But anyway, it's all done. A lot cleaner setup too with this little guy off the floor. Let's go. Clean up our mess here. Alright, let's just try out the air compressor real quick. That's about 2,000 watts. Yeah. Alright, so we got a good, nice beefy inverter to run our power tools if we have to.